Hello, welcome to the Enlightened Times Podcast. I've got a returning guest, Stephen Truth Seeker, and he's back for a third time, and he's going to be discussing his experiences as a targeted individual. Stephen, welcome to the Enlightened Times Podcast.
Hi, Mark. How's it going, mate?
Not too bad, not too bad. And this is your third time back.
Yeah, it is. And I just want to say thanks for letting me on here.
No problem. Good to have you back.
Good. And the thing is, I do believe I am a targeted individual. And
Right.
but people might say, well, why would they target you? Well, I believe that there's several reasons why they would target me. And I believe they've targeted me since I was a child. And it's gone on over the years to a lesser or a greater sort of degree. And when I was, if the listeners go back to the first talk we had,
Right.
when it discussed with the demonic house and the spell jars in the shed, people get a better idea, a better background story to what I'm talking about now.
Okay.
I do. One of the reasons I do believe that they targeted me is for my DNA. Is because of my DNA, right?
Yeah.
Another reason is because I got involved with the truth movements, and also because I had an awakening. So I woke up in the 30s, so to the truth of the conspiracy of what's going on. So there's several reasons where. Reasons there where that I believe they are targeting me. So if I'll just give you like an example. I don't think I've talked about this on the interviews with you.
No, I don't believe you have.
Go through a couple of things as a child, and then more to do with like 2010 and later on, really. But as a child, I was born in the 70s. But when I was in secondary modern school, what it was you had a form teacher which she used to call out the children's names to check to see if they're on the register, and she used to do that like twice a day, in the morning and afternoons. And she didn't usually do. Well, she was my English teacher in school, but she was also my form teacher. And this particular day, I'll just give an example. We're just in for the register for form. I don't know if it's the morning or afternoon, but we were just there. And she said, to all the kids there, because all the kids were learning on different levels. They were in maths and English and science and all the rest of it. So basically, I was at the bottom of the class with reading and writing. I struggled with reading and writing. And it just so happens that my form teacher was also my English teacher, but it wasn't English class. It was form. It was just there for the register and whatever. So all of a sudden, my form teacher said to the class, "We're going to be doing English," which was very unusual because we weren't in English class, and all these other kids were learning on different levels. So. It wouldn't have been fair anyway. But anyway, and then she gets this book out and hands out this book to all the kids, and I gave it to me, and I thought, well, she knows my situation. She's not going to be asking me to read. I think she said she wanted someone to read out like a paragraph or some part of a book, and I thought, well, she's not going to ask me because she knows I struggle, and I think the sentence that they wanted me to read out, whatever it was like had this really sort of long word that you couldn't pronounce. Well, I thought, well, just give it. One of the kids handed out the books, and I just took the book and just opened it up. And she goes, "It's page such and such." Well, I didn't go to that page. I just opened the book up and pretended to just go along with it all. And she said, "Stephen, can you read such and such out?" She only asked me. I thought, hold on a minute. So I finally found the page, struggled finding the page, got the page, and then she got me to read out this really difficult sort of sentence and stuff, and in front of all the other kids, right? When she knew she was my English teacher, she knew that I struggled with reading, and basically halfway through whatever I was supposed to be reading out, I started to struggle pronouncing some words or something. And what I believed that was designed to do was to undermine me, make you look stupid in front of all the other kids. You might say, well, it's not that. You're not being targeted for that. It is. It's all part of the game. It's all part of it. So I still believe that's one example of as a kid, I was targeted. I know I've spoken about my ghost experiences and my paranormal experiences and the house and everything else, but this is a direct, as far as I'm concerned, this is sort of a prime example of being targeted. I don't know, how do you feel about that, Mark?
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting that you get a feel, don't you, with things, because you've spoken previously about your intuitive feelings. So obviously picking up on that time straight away from an early age, you're feeling that this is done deliberately rather than
because she didn't ask anyone else. Sorry to interrupt. She didn't ask anyone else to read anything out. As soon as I started sort of mumbling and fumbling of a pronunciation, she's like, "Okay, that's enough. Thank you." So what was all that about? You know what I mean?
And it wasn't an English class either, was it?
It wasn't an English class. It was my form registration, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So all them kids there, like laughing or whatever, half of them would have been or something.
I mean, do you feel that was done to undermine and
make me look stupid and undermine the situation?
And your confidence, self-confidence, absolutely. At an early age.
That would have been, well, I was in secondary modern then, so it would have been the first or second year, secondary modern, so it would have been 11, 12, something like that.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
I don't ever remember.
Another strange thing that happened in that school was, I think this might have been my third year.
Yeah.
And halfway through sort of my term being there for 5 years, on my third year, around that time, the school head was leaving for whatever reason, and we were getting a new head teacher. And at some point, I remember just standing around, just meeting around in the playground, on a break time, whatever it was, lunchtime. And the teacher and a couple of other people, the head teacher was there, I think, and he's really, I really didn't like the guy, and I don't think he ever addressed me by my first name. He said Stephen, but at this point he's really nice and comes, Stephen, would you like to plant a tree? I thought, right. Yeah. And so they got me to see. The problem with me in school was I was a troubled kid with like, well, when I look back at it, I had learning difficulties. I was a troubled kid, and why would they ask a troubled kid who the teachers had give up on? The teachers had literally given up. By my third year, the teachers had started to give up on me. They definitely had given up on me by my fourth year. But my third year, they'd started to give up on me. So why would they approach me like that? Or why would it be asked, Stephen, do you want to plant a tree for the head or whatever? Because they're planting trees like in the pathway approaching the school, on the inside of the grounds, on the inside of the fence. Right. And so basically, I did. It got me to sort of pose to plant the tree. It didn't really do much digging or nothing, but they sort of posed, and the local media was there. They took a photo, and they said it was going to be in the local paper. I never got around to seeing the picture, but they said, but they took a photo of me planting the tree. Now, right, what I come to realise is that's a druid ritual, an ancient a druid ritual, as far as I'm concerned, planting trees on my third year, number 3.
Yeah.
That's a ritual. That. Why would they ask me out of all those kids? I was probably the worst kid in school for just getting fucked off by the teachers. Sorry for swearing, but given a fuck off by the teachers. No one wanted to know me, so there was that. An ancient druid ritual. I think that's what that was. So some kind of ritual, planting trees.
So do you feel they were
This is
prepping
when I'm like 14 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So the third year would have been around about 14, I think.
Right. So
Third
early
year in
prepping then of
secondary
this.
modern. Yeah, and another thing is around the same time, around the same time, my mother had been befriended by this lady, this woman,
Yeah.
And a son. And now her son, I never knew. He never went to my school, and
Right.
they said they're going to turn up at our house, and the son was going to cut my hair. I thought that's a bit strange. They
Right.
wanted to come round to our house, and the son wanted to cut my hair. So, and I thought, I've later realised that they must have been Satanists, because when you do black magic and stuff, you need people's hair or toenails or fingernails
Right.
to do like a spell on people. So I vaguely remember him cutting my hair for like 2 seconds or something, and then saying,
Right.
"That's done then." So he got my hair,
Yeah.
and this has happened twice to me, as far as I know, in my life. I'll come on to the story later on. But so basically, the mother and the son came round to our house just to cut my hair, and I didn't see him. Didn't come round after that for like. Well, I don't think I ever seen the son again at our house. But the woman came around, from what I can remember, like 3 years later, when there were problems the night before. She just turned up out the blue. But I mean, it's just a bit strange, really. And another thing about my school is, Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He was at my school. Now there's conjecture, there's a bit of confusion of whether he was a teacher or like a kid, like a pupil, I've looked up this information up, and he was 3 years older than me, and I think he was actually at our school, and then he got a job in a drama class as a teacher. But whether he did or didn't, what I find strange is Daniel Craig was in the local grammar school.
Yeah.
And then he changed over, right? He changed over to the secondary modern, which I found very strange. It's not unheard of.
Right.
So I basically seen him one day. I'd already known he was around and stuff. I seen him going into the drama. I was coming up. It's like the drama room, drama building. It's like it had other rooms in it. It was like a separate building from the main school. But I was in there. I was going up the stairs, and I seen him going into the drama room, and he looked at me, and he gave me that snigger look, and he knew my situation living in that house. As far as I'm concerned, right? He knew my situation. He knew me more than I knew him, but he knew my situation. He was just laughing at me. He was basically, and that was around the third year as well. So he would have been in the sixth form maybe. So I'm thinking, but I think not necessarily him, because he was still young, even though he was 3 years older than me. But maybe his family, his parents were involved in a satanic cult that opened the portal in our house before we moved in. Maybe I am guessing at things here, but I'm just saying it's a bit odd that Daniel Craig, you don't get to be James Bond without knowing people being connected. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I believe Daniel Craig was part of satanic cult, or at least his family was, his parents. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, because another thing that happened at the back of that house that I used to live when I was growing up, at the Monarch House, there was like, I think I told you, it was like field farmers land, fields, and I used to go off exploring, and I believe there was a base there. It's like a secret base or something was there that we weren't meant to know about. Anyway, I'd been exploring and nosing around and stuff, and then I came round the long way through out through the like the hedge, like there was like an opening in the hedge that came back onto our street, where the street goes round to where I live. And as I'm coming out the hedge, it's like I remember seeing like I think this, because this has happened twice to me as well. It's like on the pavement, it was like dog shit with a tatty sort of seagull or pigeon feather. The feather stuck in the dog shit, and
Right.
I had to pass that. Right,
Right.
the only something told me not to pass it, but I would have had to walk like miles or to get round it. You know what I mean? Go right the long way round again,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of over farmers' fields and over fences and stuff. I just so I don't walk past it, but I walk past it. So I believe that was some kind of hex.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just weird, because that I've seen that since then. I've seen that years later. I'll tell you about that story later on.
Right.
So that's a lot of the sorts of stuff that went on when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's kind of strange, some of those events, because what you say with the hair cutting as well, and
Yeah,
the planting of the tree, and this with Daniel Craig. It's all very strange, and like you say, people don't get into them type of places, do they? You know, to play James Bond, and we all know about the industry, whether it's the music or the film industry. So you're sort of picking up on a lot of this. Then you're seeing things which for you seem very strange or weird. That
yeah,
things going on. This it almost feels to me there's a bit of a prepping going on, like you say, with getting you to read out out of that book. I mean, because I don't think I was informed. I don't think anybody ever had to do stuff outside of English class in the your form classes. So that's kind of strange.
it was as if that teacher had been told by someone else to do that.
Yeah, yeah. And you feel that's to destroy or to at least start to unpick your confidence, self confidence.
Yeah, and to make me look stupid in front of the other kids.
Yeah. And you say this photograph that was taken with the tree was you don't believe it was ever published or you'd never seen it.
Well, the problem is my mum kept losing the local paper was delivered, or I don't know if it
Yeah.
was or what. I hardly ever see it. Mum kept losing it. I had to go over to neighbours to ask for the local paper. So
Right.
I never got to see the front. I never got to see the paper. So
Right.
it probably was in the paper. I don't know if it was on. I don't know if it was on front page, but it would have been a small sort of thing, like half
Yeah.
a page or something. I don't know.
Right.
But it's just
Right.
when I say druid ritual, I don't mean the original druids or even modern druids. I mean they're reversed. So what they do, what the like the Illuminati or the Satanists will do will bastardize the druid ritual sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
tailor it to their need. They'll tailor it to their needs, and
Right.
and do what they need to do. But
Got you.
it,
Got
it
you.
whatever works for them works for them. But I'm just saying, to me, it's some kind of like esoterical ritual or something.
Got you. Got you.
Planting a tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the thing is, I went. That's most of the stuff as a child. But I
Yeah.
went through an awakening in my 30s. So
Right.
I've got another story for you now. Now I don't know
Okay.
if this person. I don't know if this person. This is around 2008,
Yeah.
2009. But
Yeah.
I don't know if this person was connected to sort of the Illuminati network or whatever it was. It could have been
Yeah.
just like just an individual doing his own thing. But
Yeah.
he was like one of those sorts of classic. He was only a young lad. He's about like 22, 25 or younger.
Yeah.
But he said, I used to go to this online centre where the computers use free computers.
Yeah.
And one day he just turned up out the blue and then started talking to me about like conspiracies with Princess Diana and stuff.
Right.
And I didn't judge him, but he wore clothes like like a Satanist, a street Satanist,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
big black boots and stuff like that,
All
and
right.
all that stuff. He wore, so he was like the classic Satanist. He wasn't behind closed doors in the local lodge or whatever.
Yeah.
But saying, I don't know if he was doing it on his own or anything. But cut a long story short,
Yeah.
I was sitting because he actually got a job there, and I think he was watching me because he had the technology to watch what I was doing. Because and I know he overtook my mouse. He got control of my mouse one day. He was just messing around, just having a laugh. But I think he he's watching what I was doing online and stuff. But the conspiracy research I was doing. But the thing is, one day I was just sitting at computers, or at one of the computers, and I felt someone pluck a single hair out from my head.
Oh, right.
And I was sort of shocked. I knew what it was, and I pretty much knew who'd done it.
Yeah.
But by the time I got up and went to find him, he was sitting down. There's not much you could have done, really. I could have just kicked up a fuss and said, "Give us my hair back." But it's more powerful when it's plucked, I think.
Right,
So basically, he got a strand of my hair, right? And then a few months later, or whenever it was, or a few weeks later, I went to the toilet, came out, and it was in the evening, and I seen him rummaging through my stuff. And I later come to realise he'd stole a glove. And because he's probably had access to my Facebook or other social media, he would have been able to get my picture.
Right,
So when you do those things, you need three things.
Right.
So he got a hair follicle, he got a glove, and he would have got my picture somehow. Have you watched Rosemary's Baby, where there's a guy in it who gets hacked and dies, and he steals his glove?
I don't think I have. No, I don't think I've seen that.
Well, if you watch the film, have you seen the film Rosemary's Baby?
No.
Well, there's a guy in it who gets hacked by Satanists. But first thing they do is steal his glove.
Right.
So he stole my glove. So this message, he plucked the hair out of the back of my head when I was sitting down on the computers. Yeah. When he must have come creeped up right behind me, and then he's got a picture and he's got the glove. So and I know he did something to me. So, but I don't know if he was connected to the bigger thing, to the satanic network or whatever it is. Yeah. He might have just been doing it individually, but there was that.
Right. And very strange.
That's what he did. Wow. Well, because I was looking everywhere for that glove, and I traced that evening. And I went to, where's my glove? And I got halfway home, and I walked all the way back. I went to the chippy where I went and asked if anyone handed the glove in, and all the way back almost to the online centre. And I couldn't figure out where the hell my glove had gone until about a few weeks later I realised he's taken it. So that was around 2008, 2009. And then, but I don't know if he was connected with the Illuminati or whatever. But
whether he was doing it individually.
Yeah, I think he might have been doing it individually, but I don't know for sure.
Right. Very strange.
Yeah. Another thing is a strange creature around the same time. A strange creature turned up. It's like at night time. It's like an owl or something. I knew it wasn't an owl, but it was sort of an owl.
Yeah.
I didn't actually see it, but I heard it, and I wasn't the only one who heard it because one of my neighbours who lived above me, right, was getting a torch on a tree. So there was like a sycamore tree right outside my window, and I could hear it, and I knew it was sent for me. It's called something in the occult world, but I can't remember what it's called. But if I did go out looking, I couldn't see. I only had a quick look around the back. It's around the back of the flat, but I was on ground floor. What they say is the myth is if you see it, you die or something bad happens. I didn't see it, but I heard it. There's something weird. There's something weird in the tree. So I think that was sent to me. Someone had sent that.
Again, it's just weirdness, isn't it?
Yeah. Another time was as I was drained of all energy. It's like I woke up in the morning and was completely drained. It's like someone had done something on me.
Right.
So I could hardly move,
Is
mate.
this around about the same time, or
Around about the same time, yeah, 2008, 2009.
But yeah. Funny how these things are happening now, because that's quite a big jump, isn't it? In the school to what I mean, I'm presuming there's other things going on in between there, but
Well, there was, but there was all my ghost things going on and everything else that I've already talked about, wasn't there?
that's it. Yeah, so that would have
It's in
filled in
previous
that.
interviews.
Yeah, got you.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my childhood because I've talked a lot about it in the past, and now I just what I'm focusing on the targeted stuff. See, so what I think is
No, that's fine. And I'll just for the listeners, I can put the links into the other previous two
cheers for that.
pages on the show. So for all the listeners out there, you can go and look in the description box. And anyway, continue.
Yes, but the thing is, I think they were watching me. I think whoever it is, the Illuminati, whatever. I think they were watching me up until 2010. Once 2010 came around, it all changed, and I started. Well, first on this, I think it was January. This what I found. I started to think it was strange. This big, I was in my flat, and this big, massive blue bottle fly was turned up in my flat.
Right.
Around January 2010. Now, if you look at what demons and the Beelzebub, it's only the Lord of the Flies.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I started noticing people following me around in early spring 2010. It's like it started off with a couple of people, and then it's like whenever I was going out, I was wondering what was going to be happening because wherever I was going, I found there's like people following me around, and when you're being followed.
Yeah, definitely.
It's out my imagination. It's hard to describe, but I'm telling you, I'm not making it up, mate. Honest, and even some of them are even recognised. And one day or one afternoon, I was walking around an area, and it's like some guy was definitely following me down the street. Like there's a few of them, and I reckon. And then I seen a car pull up outside the library, and I recognised a couple of the faces in the car. I thought they're in on it. They're in on it as well. I didn't know the names, but I recognised the faces. I've seen them around.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going on.
Wow. Well, it's just again, like you say, it's an intuition as well, isn't it? It's a sixth sense when you feel like somebody's watching you or being followed.
Yeah, and then I started noticing vehicles parked outside the flat where I was when I was living in the ground floor flat. It's like almost like American Jeeps and other like cars and stuff that looked out of place with strange number plates and stuff. And then I was getting like the police parked outside my flat, and other strange things like ambulances turning up and stuff.
Right.
It's like one day, an ambulance and police all turned up, parked outside my flat. It wasn't for me; it was for someone else. But all outside my flat. Found a bit odd, mate.
Yeah. Have you got any idea? What they might have been up to?
But it was for someone else. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I got the feeling to get out the flat that day.
Right.
I think it was like I don't know. It was the spring equinox.
Yeah.
On 2010 or something like that, like March 2010.
Yeah.
And something told me just get out the flat. So I went out the flat, went for a walk.
Yeah.
They didn't knock on my door, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
Wow.
And then I got on a train around the same time, and the carriage was empty. It was just me at one end, and then it's like a couple of people sitting close to me, but not next to me. Sort of on the. I was at the end of the carriage, and they were sitting at the other window, at the other side.
Yeah.
And then I looked up, and it's the train had stopped at a stop, and seen some guy get on, and he walked from the end of the carriage to the far end, a total empty carriage, walked right up to me, right, sat
Yeah.
right next to me when there was loads of empty seats, and started giving me hassle and saying I'm mad and all this stuff, and just being
Right.
generally aggressive.
All right.
And and then I looked up, and there was this at the far end where he got on. There was two of the guys that looked out of place. They looked like, because this well, they looked like middle class or upper class sort of thing. They looked, to me, they looked like agents of the state, mate, and they were laughing
All right.
as if they'd got him to come on. But this caveman guy just got on, started, threatening me and all this.
Oh God.
Yeah. So it's like part of stalking, innit?
Yeah.
Part of the
Yeah.
gang stalking. Never
Yeah.
seen him
Yeah.
before, didn't know who he was. He was just, he's nutcase off the nearest housing estate or something. He
Right.
just got on the train, walked the full length of the carriage, empty carriage, and came and sat next to me, and I was at the far corner. And there were only two other people sort of close by. And then there
Yeah.
were two people at the far end who looked out of place, and they were
Right.
laughing. He was going, you're mad, what are you doing? And all this other stuff. Can't remember.
Right.
It was like 14 years ago, so
Yeah. Yeah.
there was that.
Bit unnerving, that.
Yeah, and another story I've got for you is
Yeah.
someone tried to run me over in a van. I was going to my mum's house. This was in 2010, spring
Yeah.
2010.
Right.
And it was like a junction. I was coming to a junction, but I was going around on the path onto the left, but then I was going to have to cross over. And then there was another junction, and then this van was parked. And as soon as I stepped foot onto the main road to cross over to go round to the junction where my mum lived on her street, the guy just put his foot down on the pedal and just came at me. As soon as I put my foot down on the road, he just
All
came at me.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just missed me. It just missed me. But it was
Wow.
like a large transit van or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. You remember what colour it was?
I can't remember that now,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a long time ago. But
Wow. So you felt
I've been
there's
down
something
a couple of times
intent.
too, but that's the only one I really remember.
Do you feel there was some intent there to?
There's some intent there, definitely.
Yeah.
And then another thing is, talking about being put in a newspaper. This is around 2000. This would have been April the 15th, 2010.
Yeah.
There's a place called, well, I'm going to say the area was, it's a place called Port Sunlight on the
Yeah.
Wirral. And there's a Hillsborough Memorial there. And I
Right.
happened to be there. I thought, well, I was in the area, so I thought I'd go and see the memorial because it was the anniversary of Hillsborough on the 15th of April.
Right.
So basically, there was like flowers and scarves and stuff in the area where the memorial was, and they had a minute silence, and the local paper was there again. Well, I was just
Oh, right.
arranged. Well, I was just so I went to the minute silence, but I was just before that. I think I was just arranging all the flowers and the scarves. So well, I had to bend down sort of to do that, and
Right.
then I had the minute silence, and then I went, and then what happened was he put me on the front page of the Wirral Globe, but I was
Oh,
bending over, so it
yeah.
wasn't a very good position I was in. So they got
Yeah.
me bending over with my bum sticking out. So they didn't
Oh,
pick the
right.
best picture. So to me, that's
God.
what I'm saying. They put me on the
Yeah.
front page of the Globe, Hillsborough Memorial. They didn't put me face. They took the picture from the back or the side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just
Yeah.
those type of things that they do.
Is that like a
And even
public
on that day,
is it like public shaming? Is it that?
well, I don't know what it is, but they're doing something. And even on that day, I was having like cars beeping the horns at me and all this. I thought it was my imagination instead of they were beeping at someone else, but I felt like they were beeping at me and just there's
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
going on.
Wow. Again,
Yeah,
strange things, isn't it?
yeah.
Again.
And then around the same time, I used to go for walks up this hill, and then close to where I used to live. Before I got to the hill, it was like a railway station stuff, but you could look over. And then I seen one day there was a chemtrail shaped like the anarchist symbol.
Yeah.
Close to where I lived. It was a perfect anarchist symbol. The A with the circle.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I didn't get a photo of it though, because something told me that day to take your camera, and I didn't take my camera. I left it. It was
right.
Was it Olympus camera or something we used to have?
Oh yeah.
One of those I had. I didn't have it though. Didn't get the photo. So at this point, Mark, I'd moved to different parts of the country.
Yeah.
So for several reasons. One, I wanted to start a new life. Another one was I just didn't get on with people, and sort of I was needed to move. And another one was because I was having problems with people following me around and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was walking down the street one day, and I was just minding my own business, and then there was this guy walking towards me, and he started shouting, "Chipping away, chipping away, chipping away." I'd never seen him before, never seen him after.
Right.
But he was punching his fist into his other palm and going, "Chipping away, chipping away, chipping away," really aggressively.
Yeah.
As he's walking towards me or walking past me. So it's just one of these things that happen. So I don't know what you think of that.
How odd. So what do you think he was at? So he's obviously was he aiming it at you? Obviously.
Yeah, he's talking directly to me.
Right. He's making eye contact with you, and that.
Yeah.
Trying to get a visualization of that. It's some really odd things.
Yeah.
Like the man on the train as well earlier.
Yeah.
How odd.
And then when I first moved to different parts of the country, I moved to one of those places that like travellers use. Not travellers, like people who are just travelling around.
Yeah.
With like bunk beds. What are they called?
A hostel.
Yeah, a hostel. That's it. Like a hostel.
Yeah.
I was staying there for a week because I'd moved I moved to another part of the country. I was staying there. Well, when I first went there, I paid for a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
What the woman asked. Said, "How much is it going to be?" She goes, this. Paid the money. And halfway through me staying there, I got called down to the office, and they said, "Oh, it's going to be more money." I said, "What?"
Right.
I said, "I've already paid everyone. I paid what everyone else pays." She goes, "Yeah, no, you want more money off you." So I had to pay extra money. So people who are targeted are often lose out financially.
Right.
So I said, "Well, what's going to happen if I don't pay her?" She goes, "I think she must have threatened the police." I can't really remember exactly what she said, but she must have threatened to get to the police or something.
Right.
So I'm saying I think the police are involved in some of this. So she wouldn't have said that if she couldn't back her words up with something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had to pay the extra, whatever it was. I can't remember much. It could have been 15 quid. It could have been 30 quid. I can't remember. It wasn't loads, but I didn't have loads of money to spend. That's the problem. So I'm just saying that's out of order. You know what I mean? I've done nothing wrong, and I'm paying nearly double or something just to stay there.
Right.
I used to go for evening strolls. It was by the seaside.
Yeah.
Where I was staying. At this point, I got like a room, and it was close to the sea. So I used to go strolling down. I used to have these benches with like inside huts, like open huts.
Yeah.
But it was like rows of them. So I used to go in the evening, just walking, like facing the sea, like a promenade thing. Right. And I used to go walking down there, and then at some point, I just randomly turned round and to look back up to where I just passed through all them benches and stuff, and I'd see like people just, I don't know if it was a silhouette or actual like physical person or like a shadow or something, but they were real people. They weren't ghosts or anything paranormal. They were real people, but they were sort of, I'd turn around and look back, and not all the time, just did it once, and someone would be there and then go back and hide behind the shelter thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
It's like I just turn around and it's as if someone was watching me, and they sort of recoil back, sort of thing, and hide.
Right.
Why are you hiding?
Yeah.
It's just little things like that, and like some of the things I can't really articulate because it's just so weird and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like when you get the feeling, just people following you around and stuff.
Yeah. Like I say, you get like an intuitive sixth sense, don't you? When people, even behind you, sometimes you think, oh,
It's like 100 yards behind me or something. I just
yeah,
turn around.
yeah.
There's someone sort of watching me, and then they sort of step back behind the shelter. I think.
Very strange. So this is all
And
that.
another thing is that happened is I was talking about that dog shit with the feather, like that hex thing, or whatever, that weird hex. It's like that happened. It's like I was like down by the sea again. It was up like a hill, and it was like an outcrop sort of thing where it looked down onto the sea, and like I had a bench and the people, and I was sitting there for a good hour, like just enjoying the scenery, looking at the sea and everything. It was a lovely summer's day, and then some guy, I noticed, came behind me. There were other people there, but it's just something about that guy. And then I walked, because you have to walk down through like a path, like the shrubs on either side and like grass. But I walked back there, and then down to the right there was a path going down, and I seen that guy again. Who was there? Who'd been there? He was there like 15 minutes earlier, or whatever it was. And it looked like he was filming me. And because I wanted to walk down that path to explore further, and I started walking down that path, and I seen that dog shit with the tatty seagull's feather or whatever it is halfway down the path. I thought, I'm not crossing that. And I seen that guy, he was filming me. So I thought I'd turn around and walked straight back up the path and away, because I didn't want to cross that hex or whatever it was, that weird hex thing with the dog shit. Yeah, another thing, around the same time in that same area that I was living is, there was like a local guy used to sit on a bench, and it's like a main road, and but he used to wave at everyone, and people used to beep the horns at him. And then one day, because I was waving at him when he used to walk past, and then one day I walked up, and it was as if some woman was there telling him not to wave at me or something. I might be imagining it now, but he was like shaking his head and started waving at me. It was as if some woman had approached him. It was like I was reading his body language. I'm good at reading people's body language, and it's hard to put into words, see, but it was as if that woman was telling him, "Don't wave at him, don't wave at him."
Right.
And he was saying, "No, no, no." There's something going on anyway, and he started waving at me, so I waved back.
Right.
And another thing I used to get is phone calls. I used to get phone calls from like Europe, like Zurich and Berlin and Paris and places like that.
Oh yeah.
Coming up on my phone. Don't know what that was about. And one day I answered one. I said, "Hello." And it sounded like they were in a bar or something. There's a lot of background noise, people talking and stuff.
Yeah.
Like a bar or a restaurant or something. I said, the person on the end didn't say much. I can't really remember what they said, but I said, "Listen, don't ring me up again." Okay.
Yeah.
So, because like Switzerland and Paris and Germany, they're like Illuminati centres, aren't they? As well as London.
Yeah. Were these like in the early hours or in the day or?
No, this is anytime, like
anytime,
during the day, afternoon, evening, whenever. I used to ignore them for the most part, but just that one time I answered it, and it was that. Another thing I've suffered from is directed energy weapons, or it's like a noise, like a humming noise. It's like a woo 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 woo. And I'm not sure if I think you might have experienced some of this as well.
Yes.
I think they've attacked me with microwaves and energy weapons and all sorts over the years.
Yeah, yeah. And you experienced the humming.
It's like quite often it's like a woo 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 woo. It's like a low frequency or something. You can hear it, but it's not. It's like sometimes it is quite loud. Sometimes it does get quite loud. I've had it in the past where it's been like literally woo 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 woo. And other times you can hardly notice it. And another thing I've noticed is when that happens, is my light bulb shakes. You know your light bulb.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Shakes. So
And just for the listeners, when that's happening, when the woo woo woo, that is it. That's in our. Would you say that's in your head? So if somebody who wasn't aware of this just stood in the room, they probably wouldn't even pick up on that, they? Or is that different for you?
I actually suffer from both. I suffer from it in my head and external.
Right, got you.
Because I think I've been chipped. See, now people are going to say, "Oh, it is in your head." Then it is in your head. No, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not in my head. It's other people have heard it, and I can tell the difference when it's external and when it's internal.
Yes, yes. And I remember when we done our last interview that we had a lot of problems with something going on, didn't we? Which we had to edit out of the final edit for the show, for the podcast.
Yeah, it's interference.
We were picking up on all that interference, wasn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm definitely being followed around. Not as much these days. I still think it's going on, but not as much.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going on. Another thing that happened is I might have mentioned this on a previous interview, but I'm not 100%. But this is part of the targeting.
Yeah.
There was a helicopter over my flat. When I moved to a different part of the country, I eventually got a flat, and then there was heard the helicopter coming, and it was in a working class area in terraced houses, but the house I was living had been converted into flats. But I was in the top flat.
Yeah.
And basically, this helicopter was hovering above the street where I lived.
Right.
And it was doing that for about 20 minutes at least. And then it changed position and went round the back of where the alley was, started hovering above that, the back of the house.
Yeah.
So went out just like a landing area, like a veranda area, where I had a couple of pot plants and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like a metal steps, and I was watching it from there, and then I decided to go outside, and I went onto the street, and then started walking down the street, and then the helicopter started following me down the street.
All right.
So it was hovering for like 20 minutes in the front part of the building, then it changed over and hovered there for another 10, maybe 20 minutes at the back.
Yeah.
And then I walked down. Left the flat and started walking down the street, and it started following me, and then I got to probably to the bottom of the street and started to fly off. But I tracked it and traced it, and I followed it down to the shoreline. Some guy was down on the shore, right, with a pair of binoculars. I said to him, "What type of helicopter?" He's seen the helicopter. I said, "What type of helicopter was that?" And he said it was a private helicopter, and I even worked out where the helicopter, the landing pad was.
Right.
I seen it land. So that's where it's taken off as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So private could be a member of the Illuminati, could be anything. But they were hovering there. It was for me, because they made it clear it was hovering at the front of my building, right, where the main street was, and then they went around the back. It was hovering, not directly above, but almost.
Yeah, yeah. Was this in the day or the evening or night?
This is in the daytime, mate.
Right, so you got a good look at this thing, yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes it's difficult to know what's private, what's police, but what's military. Because I've had military craft going over places where I've lived, even up to the present day. That's gone on. I've had a lot of that as well. Have you seen those helicopters with I don't know if it's AWAC technology, like a radar or whatever it is,
Yeah.
They're not normal helicopters. They're not even normal military ones. I mean, I often hear, the Chinook type ones. You
Yes.
can hear them
Yes.
before you see them. You've
Yes.
got that sound, haven't you?
Yeah.
I
Oh
often
yeah.
hear them. But what these other ones with, like, there's like a bulbous protrusion on the top. I think it's on the top of the helicopter, but I think that's like AWAC. Reminds me of
Got
the
ya.
AWAC technology. Like, is that radar technology or what is that?
It
Because
could
I've
be
seen that go right over my flat more than
right.
once
Right. I mean,
on different flats.
I should imagine they've got an array of technology
Yeah,
aboard their sort
should
of
really look that one up.
yeah. I
Another thing
mean,
that used to go on when I
yeah.
was living in that house with converted flats and where
Right.
the helicopter was, where the helicopter was was seen. There's another thing I used to see was uh, builders' vans with Masonic symbols on front. Now, on its own, it's quite common actually. So you
Yeah.
might say, well, that because like I used to see like with pyramids on the side and all that,
Right.
and you might say, well, people might say, well, they've all got that. A lot of the builder vans have that, and yes, they do. But then when you start seeing, it's like scaffolding
Yeah.
in my street, right?
Yeah.
The builders are working on a house in my street where I was living with my surname, using my surname
Right.
as such and such builders. Then you start
Uh-huh.
to, yeah, such my surname, builders.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And you start thinking, what's going on? And
yeah.
then one day, listen to this, right?
Yeah.
Seen an orange van with the word clockwork on the front of it. Clockwork orange, mate.
Oh yeah, clockwork. Yeah,
Now
clockwork.
that's a corker, that one. But
Yeah.
as I was
Yeah.
approaching the van, he drove off quick, so I couldn't get a photo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Clockwork orange, mate. An orange van with the word clockwork. That's where the right brain sees that straight
Yeah.
away. The
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
brain
Yeah.
doesn't. If listeners want to know the difference between, you need to look up the difference between left brain and right
Right.
brain
Right. Yeah.
hemisphere,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the symbolism, you learn your symbolism through the right hemisphere of the brain.
Yeah. I mean, do you just want to, for the listeners, do you just want to explain about a clockwork orange, what that sort of can signify, perhaps
Well,
with the film?
I'm thinking it's about mind control. The film was about mind control. In the
Yeah.
end, he's under mind control, isn't he?
Yes.
Not at the
Yes.
start, because he's doing whatever he wants, or that's what we think anyway, but we don't know. But in the end, he is under mind control, isn't he? Total mind
Yeah.
control.
Quite an iconic film, isn't it? And with, especially on things we look into, that film in particular. So
Yeah.
that's quite significant, that is, I think. What's
But,
the chances of that?
yeah, that's what I'm
With a
saying.
van?
And then my name in and such it's my name and builders
Yeah.
in my street.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Wow. That's a hell of a lot going on.
yeah, right. There's this in the same street, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy with a red van. I think it was like a transit van again. It was like a large red van, and I had the words flower shop on the side, or somewhere on
Right.
the van I had the words flower shop.
Right.
And I used to see his van going around, and I was walking past his house one day, and because he lived on my street, and
Yeah.
it must have been his daughter's 16th birthday or something,
Yeah.
and pretty sure his door number was 66.
Oh, right.
And I'm walking past his house, go to where I live, and he had arranged, them birthday balloons.
Yeah.
He had arranged the 6. I think it might have been like, one balloon had a 1 and one balloon had a 6, but I could only see the 6 on the window. He'd arranged, we were talking about the seeing the symbolism through right brain, decoding it through the right brain hemisphere.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he'd arranged the number 6 on the balloon in the front of the window.
Yeah.
and then there was the 66 on the front door.
Right.
So that's when I'm
Wow.
666.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he's arranged it for me myself.
No.
I'm not saying he did that, but he's arranged it so it looks like a 666. So his satanic buddies or whatever, whoever, that, because they see that. I see that as well. I'm not part of their network, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'll see that as well because I have decoded because they work through symbols.
Yeah, like most people would just probably go over their head a bit, wouldn't they?
Say again, mate?
For most people, that would just go over their head. They wouldn't notice that.
Yeah, they wouldn't. But I did notice it.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Another thing that happened is at this time, I think it was in the evening, where I lived on my road, there wasn't. It's like heavy parking. There wasn't many places to park, especially in the evening. And then the street over, it was all full up as well. So I was walking sort of down my street and then down to the next street to walk onto the main road. And at the far end, that red van with the flower shop, that guy's van was there. And as I'm walking past, so the thing is his van wasn't on our street here where he lived. It was he'd had to park it on the street further over. But the point is, I was walking past the van, and it set an alarm off, as if he had as if he had a device to tell him when I'm walking past. Usually, and he'd forgot it and left it in his coat pocket in the car or something. Right. It's as if he had the device to tell him when when I'm walking down my street, when I'm passing his house.
Right.
I don't know what range he had. I walk straight past his car. Sorry, his red van, and an alarm went off. It was his van.
Right.
As if he'd forgotten the device or whatever it was, and left it in the car. But it set something off. That's what I'm thinking.
Bloody hell.
What do you think of that?
That's, again, it's more strangeness, isn't it? And you know, you happen to be walking past and it's going off.
Yeah, he went, as soon as he walked past his driver's seat, it went off.
Yeah. And just for the listeners, and you weren't aware of it going off, and anybody else walked past, was you?
Well, there was no one around, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's just funny that it's gone off when I've walked past.
Yeah. So you'd have to have. I mean, if that was the case, that alarm would be going off if the threshold of that alarm was set quite low. You know, like when a bus goes past and it sets car alarms off, all the winds.
No, it wasn't his car alarm.
Oh, okay.
It was something in his car.
Oh, it was
like a device or something.
Yeah. Got you. I see what you mean now. Yeah.
That had gone off. I mean, that's happened as well. I've walked past the car on the same street, and the car alarm had gone off. But that might be because I tripped it standing on a dodgy curb.
Yeah.
This was a device inside his car.
Actual device in the car.
Yeah, it must have been like a portable device, but he's left it in the car. He's forgot about it and left it in the car.
Wow. Okay.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, I misunderstood that. Apologies for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there was just something about him in that car, in that van. I mean, I think eventually he got rid of that van. But I've got one more story to tell you about that. It's like I was walking down the same road. This was in the daytime.
Yeah.
And I just happened to, his van came into my head. I started thinking about his van. Yeah. And then I started walking down the road towards where the park was so I could cut across and go to the library as a shortcut. But as I looked up down the road, his flower shop van came round the corner and past the entrance of the park and down the other road. Right, but just a few seconds before that, I was thinking of his van. And something said to me, he's up to something there. So I walked into the park entrance, and then I'm walking through the park, and halfway through the park, I see these two women just standing there. I'm walking, getting closer and closer, and they're looking at me. And guess what they said? A
What they
woman's
say?
been murdered here last night. I think they said last night. A woman's
Right.
been murdered here.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you be able to help us? But I didn't want to get involved.
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk to them. So I don't trust the police. So I just carried on walking. Just being
Yeah.
honest with you,
Yeah.
mate. But
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. You know what? You know what I'm saying here, don't you?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not going to say what I think I'm going to. But I'm just saying his van. I don't know how weird that is. That his van will come around the corner, go past the entrance of the park, just as
Yeah.
I'm thinking of his van, and then I'll walk in to the park, and then a woman's been murdered there. It's odd. That's
Odd.
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Yes.
Do you see where I'm coming from, mate?
Oh yeah.
You could just fill in for us there, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's again, like you say, just like almost. Yeah. I mean, you got to be careful what you're walking into sometimes, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything, but people can be fitted up for stuff, walking into a
But they were
situation.
plain clothes police. They weren't
Yeah.
in a uniform. But
Right.
they look like normal people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So once he said the woman had been murdered, I thought I'm having nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Very strange again. And do you remember when this was? What year, roughly?
That would have been about 2015, 2000, maybe 2016,
Right, got you. Just gives a
2016,
timeline for
maybe
the listeners. Yeah.
2017, something
Yeah.
like that.
Got you.
It was before it became homeless. So
Yeah.
another thing that went on, right? I'm going to connect these two stories now, right?
Yeah.
This was like 2 o'clock in the morning on the same in the same street again,
Yeah.
and a taxi driver. The street was actually quiet, but a taxi driver dropped this like 22, 25-year-old girl or whatever she was, dropped her
Yeah.
off in the middle of the street, which I found a little bit odd. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, see, I lived on like close to a crossroads where there was a pub opposite on the right hand side.
Yeah.
On the left hand side, on my side, there was a corner shop,
Yeah.
and I was two doors down from the corner shop, or two windows down, which I'm going to come to explain now. But it was
Yeah.
two doors down from the corner shop. But on the side of the corner shop where the crossroads was, there were like smaller windows. It's like 2 or 3 smaller windows on
Yeah.
the side of the corner shop. With this girl was dropped off by the taxi, and all of a sudden she started banging on the side windows where the shop was, just
Right.
banging really loud. And all of a sudden the police turn up and then take it away. And then I'm thinking, that's a bit odd. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, if I can go to another story and then come back to that one.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll park
What I
then.
used to do,
We'll come back. Yeah.
was I used to go for whenever I used to go for walks like up this big hill,
Yeah.
off my street, up this big hill, and then round on, and it was like a park area, small park area with a bench and stuff, and then cut through the park, and then loop round, swing round again, and then go go round to near where I live, and then if I wanted to double loop again, just getting exercise, mate. I was just getting
Yeah.
exercise. Do that 2 or 3 times sometimes. Just to go for a walk for exercise. Cut through the park, swing around, back down to where I lived, and then back up again through the park.
Right.
Well, if you remember, if someone had said to that girl, right, if you want drugs, right,
Yeah.
bang
Yeah.
on the second window really hard and ask for such and such. If someone had told someone, if someone say, just for example, looking for cocaine
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and she got dropped off by a taxi, and she was drunk, and she's a little bit confused of what windows to knock on,
Yeah.
and she knocked on the wrong windows that she was supposed to knock on. 2 windows down is where I lived, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, right? I went walking back up when I used to go for walks for exercise, I went from a normal walk up through the park. I looped round again. Before I looped round, I think the problem was, mate, I'm not making a very good convincing argument about this, but the problem is I was poor. I had no money. I had nothing, and I quite often would scan the floor because I often found money on the floor. I would not, and near benches and stuff, especially. I used to scan the floor for like pound coins or whatever I could find.
Yeah.
Now, when I went this time when I exercised, right? I walking through the park, and then there's the bench. I think there must have been someone there. I was sitting on near the bench or something. They'd see me, but I was scanning. I quickly scanned the area, looking for money on the floor because I had no money to buy food or anything. And then I was off again, back on my walk. So I'm just taking some exercise.
Yeah.
And then I looped round again, went back up the hill and back up to the park. And when I came round again, about 40 minutes later or half an hour later, whatever it was, there was police everywhere, scanning the floor with torches and everything where the bench was and surrounding areas. And looking as if someone had dropped something off on the floor or something.
All right.
Quite often when I left the park, there's a police car at the bottom of the road.
Right.
So what I'm saying to you is, I think someone's told that girl, right?
Yeah.
Bang on the second window down from the corner shop, really hard, ask for such and such, get whatever it is she wanted.
Yeah.
And she's told the police that you took her away. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm thinking someone somewhere in a lofty castle has decided to try and to make out I'm a drug dealer. I'm not a drug dealer. Never dealt in drugs.
Yeah.
But I found it strange, mate. You know what I mean? When I went to that park to loop round walk through the park again, that second time that night, that evening, there were police everywhere, scouring the floor, looking for whatever they could look for. I knew what they were doing. They're doing it because I'd been scanning the floor previously, and someone had seen me do it and reported me.
Right.
So they're scanning the floor with torches and everything. They're all over the place. Police everywhere. It's like 8, 10 police or more. Wow. From what I can remember. It's like at least half a dozen police scanning the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking someone's saying I'm a drug dealer.
Right. So you feel like they're trying to fit you up?
Yeah. So I've heard this from other people as well. I've heard they do this with other people. It's not just me. I've heard about these types of stories before.
Yeah. Well, we've investigated that before. Just I could name on my hand people who have been set up or suspected of set up. Well, we know Barry George wasn't he? The Jill Dando case.
Yeah. Another thing is, I used to go out of an evenings to go down the supermarket or whatever it was.
Yeah.
When I had money, and I used to see the same faces when I walking down the road. Like walk down my road, then cross over the main road, and then it's like a main road that you walk down. Yeah. And then I used to see this. Like I used to keep seeing this old guy. Is it almost in the exact spot? It's like I'd pass him in almost the exact spot. It's like close to where Pets at Home was, where the industrial estate, where Pets at Home and all the other shop places were. Yeah. And then there's this Rasta guy I used to see as well. And I used to go when I had money, I used to go to the pub to watch the football. And I seen him in there one day, and he's standing right next to me. And I had this big jug of beer. It's when you could buy 3 pints in one jug. And I was desperate for the toilet, and the football match had finished, and I had all that to drink, and I didn't. I said to him, "Can you mind?" I put the menu thing over the top of the jug, and I said, "Can you just keep an eye on on my drink, please. I just want to use the toilet. And when I came back, the menu thing had been knocked off. I was using it as a lid.
Yeah.
And so they could have put something. It could be like a microchip technology or something.
Yeah.
In my drink or something. I don't know. But I sometimes I'd open my door and he'd be walking past my front door. Not just in the pub, he'd be walking past the front door.
Yeah.
And then when I became homeless, I'm going to mention this now in case I forget. When I became homeless, right? I'll get into that in a minute. When I became homeless, I seen him and I'd moved to a different town, right?
Yeah.
Different city.
Yeah.
I moved to a different city. Him and that old guy turned up where I was sleeping.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Then more strangeness, isn't it?
Yeah. And I often get like random cars flashing me and stuff like that, beeping me. Another thing that happened, though, I was still in that flat in the converted house, was must have been winter time, like January or something.
Yeah.
And it felt like something from Wizard of Oz or something. All of a sudden, right, this gust of, well, it wasn't a gust of wind, it felt like a mini tornado tried to attack my flat. It's like, this wind swell came from nowhere. I'll tell you how bad it was. It only lasted like 30 seconds or 50 seconds, maybe a minute, I don't know. But it was that bad. I was lying on my bed and I had to grip my bed.
Right.
Because I thought I was going to lift off. You know, you got to have an accident or something. You grab hold of something through fear.
Yeah.
I had to grab hold of the bed because that's all I could grab. The sides of the bed. Because I thought I was going to get sucked up. So this mini tornado, whatever it was, I ripped off all the stone facing on the front of my flat, on the first floor flat. It was only on my flat though. It only attacked my flat. It ripped off like really heavy stone masonry or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I threw it on the floor. It was only lasted 30 seconds or something, but it was like a mini attack. Well, it didn't feel like a mini. It felt like a full blown attack, mate.
Oh God.
Weather wars.
Yeah. It's just mad, isn't it?
It's mad. And then another one was in the same flat again, and then I remember exactly the detail of this, but it's basically I was lying on my bed, and one half of my body, I can't remember which half now, I get confused, but one half of my body was frozen. I couldn't move it, and somehow I managed to get the energy to wiggle my way off the bed and regain the energy.
Oh right.
But I couldn't move. The thing is, next door, when I first moved in there, next door had this was early on when I moved in. It might be in 2010 or 2011. But next door when I first moved in, next door had chickens, and the chickens were going off their heads, going crazy. I heard them. But I was pinned. Half of my body was pinned to my bed. I couldn't move it.
Oh right.
Fucking weird, mate.
Yeah. Jeez. That must have been scary, that is.
Well, I'll get used to it, to be honest. So at this point, I've become homeless, mate. I've been evicted from my flat, and that's on my YouTube channel. And I've become homeless.
Right.
So people will turn up in the middle of the night, like spades, hitting the spade on concrete. It's like there's a path nearby. I was camping in the tent in a park, and smashing the spade on the concrete, making like the spade noises.
Oh, God.
That's one of the things that happened. Another one was I was in like sleeping in a nature reserve. It's like with my tent and everything, and someone was stalking me there because I went to a super and some kid came up to me on his bike and said, "We've been watching you. You must have been watching me from the houses over the way," and probably had binoculars or something. And he said someone's hiding in a tree close. I can't remember exactly what he said, but something about someone's hiding in a tree close to where you are and stalking you, or where's the effect of something like that, and creeping around. And then I remember, I don't know if it was before or after he told me that it was like 10 o'clock at night. I was in my tent, I had my phone on watching YouTube, and it started to get really tired. So I just turned my phone off quickly, and I couldn't be asked logging out and everything. I just turned it off. Because I had the earphones in, and I just turned it off. And as soon as I turned the phone off, the light went off on my phone. I was in my tent. You know when you hear someone, like, it's because there's long grass at the back and stuff. You know when you hear someone move back, I don't know if it was his clothing or brushing the long grass, but it was right on top of me. It was that much on top of me, right? Literally could have watched my YouTube, watched on my phone. It would be called back. So I heard that. What can I do? What can you do? What are you going to do? Get in a big fight in the nature reserve with some weirdo who's following you around? You just got to get some sleep, mate. You need to get some sleep. Those are the type of things that are going on. You can't tell me that's normal. That's not normal. You'll get that as well. A normal person would get something like that, but not on a regular basis. Not the kid coming up to me and saying, "Listen, there's someone's hanging around your tent."
Right.
And that happened a few times. Weird things that happen quite a lot.
This strangeness and theme going on.
And then another one was I was like in a town centre sitting on a park bench, and I had a shopping trolley full of camping gear. And some guy, he was high. This is a proper stalker guy. This guy.
Yeah.
He was high. I'd already clocked him previously for what he was up to, and then I was watching him, and then he hid in. There's like shops everywhere, and like there's a Poundland and stuff.
Yeah.
And he hid in one of the doorways where I couldn't see for a few minutes, and then stepped back out again. And then because I was staring at him, he came up to me about 4 times, right up to my face, right up to my nose, like an inch from my nose, threatening my life and everything, screaming at me, making a big scene in the town centre, just going off his head, just a nutcase. And he's still in my local areas. That guy's still in my local area.
Right.
He was threatening me. I know where he lives.
You avoid him?
I do avoid him, but I'm not putting up shit.
No.
Another thing is, since I was homeless, I was poisoned as well. I believe multiple times I was poisoned.
Right. Okay.
That's part of the targeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then once COVID started, I got emergency housed. So as eventually became housed again.
Yeah.
And in a previous address where I was emergency housed, this was about 2-3 years ago. This is strange. I was having this weird dream. I can't really. I know it was a weird dream, but I can't really remember what was going on. And I've had a few like that. But I remember waking up. It was if people were watching me or something. I can't really remember. But what I remember from the story is, I was just half asleep. It was like, I don't know if this was the same night or not, but I was half asleep, and I had my knee up in my bed, and I was hearing this buzzing noise, and I felt something. I wasn't fully asleep. I was only sort of drifting, sort of. You know, when your eyes, you feel sleepy and your eyes are closed, but you're not asleep.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I wasn't asleep, but I heard this buzzing noise in my room, and then I felt something land on my knee.
Right.
So I sort of flicked my knee as a sort of natural reaction, and then at some point I looked down on where my bed was, and there was this like beetle thing.
Right.
And I believe it was like, I know it sounds bizarre, but it's like a remote control beetle would have had a camera and everything and a CPU. But the thing is, I first seen it in my shower room earlier that day, right? And I just thought it was a bit of fluff from a pair of socks or something, because my eyesight's not very good. So I scooped it up with a dustpan and brush and threw it in my, your kitchen bin.
Right.
But it was like an open top kitchen. What was it? I was using one of those. It wasn't a proper bin. It was like an open top thing anyway.
Yeah.
So it was like a shopping trolley that I converted to make a bin with black bin bag. So it was basically an open top. Right. So I believe that because it was in my shower room and I put it in the bin. I thought it was just a bit of rubbish or something. Yeah. And then later on in the evening at night, I think it's flown out the bin and then landed on my knee. And then I've flicked it off and looked down. And then I should have really inspected it closely. I didn't. And I chucked it out. I chucked it out my window. But I believe that was some kind of device. Well,
right.
Some parts, organic parts. Yeah. I know we're in the realms of science fiction now, but that's what part machine. Like you must have heard like I'm sure I've seen it with the mosquitoes as well when I was at a bus stop.
Yeah.
Like, the microchip animals.
Yes.
The microchip animals, and then influence them and basically control the brain. But they can do an insect is an animal, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So you could do it on a micro level, can't they?
Yes.
So I believe that was that was like a remote control beetle they were using. Because I don't know if it's the same night or around the same time, but I was having these weird dreams about fighting. Well, it was as if it wasn't as if I was put into a body. Well, it might have been. It's like my spirit or my soul or something had been put into a body, but it was me, but it wasn't me. It was like a clone.
Right.
And all these people were gathered round, and I was like a ring to fight someone. And then someone just came to me and stabbed me. But this was in a dream.
Yeah.
Around the same, I don't know if it's the same night or not. I can't really remember now. But it's like I'm trying to put my soul into a clone.
Oh, right.
But that was in a dream, but it wasn't. It didn't feel like a proper dream. It felt weird.
Interesting. I mean, if it was I know you say it doesn't feel like a dream. That's an interesting concept, though. What you're describing there. That is very interesting. And was this more recent?
No, that was about 3 years ago, mate. With the thing with the beetle and the weird dreams.
Right. Yeah.
I don't really remember my dreams that much these days now. Because a lot of some of the research, the alternative research community has gone into this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that's happened is I went to get a blood test, and a nurse, she before she put the needle in to draw the blood out, she wiped it on a dirty do rag, like wiped the end of the needle on like a dirty rag. I seen it from the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
So I think it's like I've looked into them needles that they use as doctors and stuff, and they're recycled. Did you know that?
I didn't know it until recently now.
And what they say is, we clean them with lasers. It's a bullshit, mate. They don't clean them with lasers. It doesn't work properly. So already they're putting a dirty needle in you because it's recycled, and then she's put something on the needle, stuck it in me.
Right.
So I'm not going back to have that.
Yeah.
Because there's something about that nurse. There's something weird about that nurse. She was wearing a mask. That's not that weird. Like, but sort of when she called my name out and came sort of take me into the room, she sort of laughed under a mask sort of thing. I don't know what it was, but it was something. Me intuition. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's that blood scandal, isn't there?
Yeah, it's
That
something
mean,
about that. But I mean, that's why I think I'm targeted because
yeah,
they attack you on all levels, mate.
yeah.
Physical, mental, spiritual. They'll attack you, financial.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that's a lot of what I want to talk about, mate. That's about it, really.
No, it's interesting and it's good. I mean, you did it in a timeline there, wasn't you? From right
Yeah,
early back from the 1970s, growing up
yeah.
through to your, your schooling, and late teenage, and then through into your, into the 2000s and stuff. Yeah,
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but on the interviews, but there was like I believe I've been chipped in the left ear
right.
because there was like blood spots on my bed and my sheets,
Yeah,
right, and I can't explain them. And around the same time, someone in the same building where I was living said they seen bright lights at night,
right.
as
Yeah.
if something had come onto my left ear, put something
Hmm.
in there, and pulled it out
Yeah,
again. It's like
right.
bloodshot, blood drops on my bed sheets, and I can't explain them where they came from.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the same. I know people um, personally who the mother and the daughter had identical spots on their bodies where they felt they'd had some sort of type of implants or been examined. You can tell people and they don't believe you. They just, they can think we're fantasists or
Yeah.
whatever.
So, Steve, is there anything else you want to add as we move into the final elements of the podcast?
Yeah, I've had strange experiences with my phone. I've had different phones over the years, but if I could just mention a few things about the phone. Um,
Yeah.
this was about 10 years ago, and I used to stay at family for Christmas sometimes, and uh, my mother, I think it was around October, November time, something like that. My mother was ringing up to organise sort of the arrangements around that, the travel arrangements and the rest of it. The data was coming up, so around Christmas. So my mum was trying to get through to me this time, and she was getting through to other people, and it was like she was ringing up, ringing me up. I was answering the phone, and I was getting someone from round the corner or something, like a local person, answering. I'm saying hello, and he's saying, I've just tried to answer a phone for my auntie or something. His auntie I'm talking about,
Yeah.
or say it happened about 4 times with different people. I, I'd pick up and there'd be a guy on there shouting down the line, and I'd hear my mum's voice. It was a cross line. One of them was at least one of them was a cross line. I heard some guy with a local accent where I was living down south shouting, talking to someone else, and then shouting to my mother because my mother would start talking, and he'd start shouting at my mother saying, "Get this stupid woman off!" And my mum's going, "Oh, I want to speak to my son," and this is
Right.
on my phone,
Yeah.
and then I turn the phone off, or whatever, and the call, and then I'd ring her, or I can't remember now all the specifics of it, but I tried to get back through to my mum, and and my mum would ring me again. I couldn't get through, or whatever it was, and then my mother would ring me again for like the third or fourth time, and then someone else would. So I distinctly remember someone else getting through. Mother was ringing me, it was her number, and then I'd pick up, answer, and then I'd get through to someone else. I'm saying, "Who are you?" And he wouldn't give any information, probably because he didn't know what was going on. And then I'd say, well, I'm trying to speak to my mother, and he'd
Yeah.
say, "Well, I live in such and such. Where are you?" And I think he just hung up. there's all that strange thing. That's because the phone's tapped probably at my parents. And I know my own phone has been tapped. My mobile phones. I've had about 4 or 5 mobile phones for the past 20 years.
Right.
And I know all they need is your number, and they can listen in, even when the
Right.
phone switched
Right.
off. Even when the phone switched off, they can listen in. And other strange things have happened. I've been talking to other people and I've heard voices on the phone, laughing and stuff,
All right.
laughing and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
yeah.
quite
So I know my
unnerving.
phone. I know they listen in on my phone, and
Yeah.
probably watch as well. I don't know. Whoever
Yeah.
turns them
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. It's hard to trust with the phones, isn't it? Because it's
Yeah,
like a portal into your private life, isn't it?
yeah.
Very strange. Very strange.
So because of this, um, when I was 10 years ago now, it's around the same time, I was living in that flat, top floor flat. Um, I decided to do like a mini experiment. So I had a feeling there's more than just a few people listening. I think it's hundreds, if not more, listening in on my phone. And there's a pub opposite where I was living. There was a pub opposite, and he got really loud and raucous and obnoxious and awful. And it's just loud noise, and it just felt a little bit too much
Hmm.
sometimes, especially at weekends. I understand the pub and people are drunk, but so I decided to do a little experiment. I sort of I just placed my phone down. This was like a Tuesday afternoon or something, or Tuesday. No,
Right.
Tuesday would have been like the evening. Sorry, it was like
Yeah.
the evening. And placed my phone down on like the bookcase where I was living in the flat. And I wouldn't describe it as mocking them, but I started talking to the phone and I said, because I could hear noise, but it wasn't a full pub. It was like 5, 10 people in there or something like that. It
Yeah.
was like 6 o'clock in the evening or something. I don't know. But I started saying, oh, so you're not doing your usual oi, oi, oi tonight.
Yeah.
And within 15, 20 minutes, mate, I'm not joking, someone
Right.
came out that pub and went, oi, oi, oi.
Oh, wow. So that was,
So
yeah.
they're listening in, mate.
Yeah. Proved your point.
Yeah, sorry, that was a bit
Yeah.
loud.
No, no, that's, well,
That's what happened.
it gives you a bit of a feel what you was hearing.
Yeah. So that's strange.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. I mean, it's either, I mean, like you say, I don't think there's any coincidence there, is there, when you're like, that's quite specific, really.
Yeah. So I think there's a website you can go on with all
Yeah.
this listening in on people's phones. There must be,
Right. Right.
or something like that. They're doing something.
I remember they used to be able to hack your phone, didn't they? And your messages, and obviously phones anyway, they're accessible. I mean, the intelligence services can get into them quite easily.
Yeah. Oh
So,
yeah. Definitely. So after that, I think I mentioned before, I became homeless for 3 years.
yeah,
Um, I was sleeping in the park, this Pacific Park. I was there for like 6 months on and off.
right.
It's like in there, and it was quite a nice place, but still I had problems from time to time when you're camping in a public park. But this one evening, it was hot summer's day, really hot in the evening, difficult to sleep. And these people turned up about 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock, after it, or around the time it was going dark, turned up late, and then he started making loads of obvious noise and dancing around and being drunk and just, but it was right next to my tent. He had the whole, like several fields to camp, sorry, they weren't camping. They had several fields to act stupid, but they chose to do it right next to where I was camping and trying to get to sleep. So basically, they got that drunk. I had to. They becoming that bad problem that I had to pack down my tent because I couldn't deal with it. It's just too loud.
Right.
So I pretended to leave. I thought I'll just loop round. It's like a bridge, and then you can loop round and go where the bowling green is and come back up. And
Mhm.
hopefully they'll get bored of themselves. And well, they did eventually, but that was later on. But as I'm walking over the bridge, walked out the field and over towards the bridge. And when I was on the bridge at one point, I think I was on the bridge a few times. Or one point when I was on the bridge, um, this is like at this point, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm halfway across the bridge, sort of stopped, and there's this green light on me. The green
Right.
light,
Yeah.
like a torch,
Yeah.
but it's green.
All right.
And I thought someone's well, I think I thought at the time the word I thought was I'm being targeted here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was coming from the back of the leisure centre.
Right.
I'm not sure where. Couldn't see where exactly, but there's a light on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that usually happens sometimes it happens when you get a sniper, but I don't think I was going to get a sniper on me. But there's a light on me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I carry on with what I was trying to deal with the situation. I ended up sitting on a park bench, and this is about 2:30, 3 in the morning. Eventually, the idiots, well, I think there's one bloke and two girls. The girls were carrying a bloke. The bloke had drank too much, and I think he'd been bitten by the mosquitoes loads. He couldn't
Yeah.
handle it. So this is like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting in the middle of the park with my camping gear, not out, just I had to pack it all up
Yeah.
and carry it around. And then I seen them walk past, and that was the way out of the park. So I thought, great, I can go back and camp and get some sleep. So I got a few hours sleep. But around that time, I was hanging around with someone who claimed to be an ex-military person,
Yeah.
and I knew what he was going to say, but I thought I'd check with him. I explained to him what happened when I was on the bridge with the light on me, and different colours mean different things, don't they?
Right.
I
Yeah.
forget what the different colours mean now. Well, red's for one, blue's for the other, green's for another,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So I said to him, "What does green stand for?" And he goes, "Target."
All right.
Yeah. So
Right.
that's that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But this is all going on in the middle of the night. I'm trying to get some sleep and I'm homeless.
And
This is
you
what I'm
and,
having to deal with.
and you couldn't see where it was emanating from either. The light.
I was more interested in just being able to carry the gear and get to the bench and
Yeah.
sit down
Yeah.
and have a rest. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm knackered.
Yeah. Of
You know what I
course.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
having to. At one point, I think I actually set up on a bowling green. So that was twice I'd set up before I even
Yeah.
got any sleep. And then I took it down because I thought I'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I had to sit up 3 times that night just to get some sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was one of the things that went on. And I actually did get shot when I was homeless with an air
Right.
rifle in
All
the back.
right.
Yeah, this was in a different town, but It was in the morning. It was light. It was about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I was packing up my gear, my camping gear, and I felt this like I can't. It's like a slap on the back, but more powerful sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I looked at my coat, and there was a pellet in it. I've been shot. Came from the car park area. The shot
Right.
came from the car park area, but I was under some trees in the park. This was a
Yeah.
different. But I was shot with a pellet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and there was a hole in me. I still got the hole. The pellet fell out, but I still got the hole in the jacket.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So at this point, I became an emergency house. I was no longer homeless, but I was still hanging around with someone else who I knew who I knew when I was homeless,
Yeah.
and we were just sitting on the park bench, and I think it was around COVID. It was COVID because that's how I got emergency housed because of the COVID emergency.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the bench, and I just while I was talking with her, and all of a sudden I looked to I think it was on my left shoulder, and I noticed all these like silver specks, like thousands of them.
Right.
There's just a ton of them, and tiny silver specks. I think they call it nanodust.
Yeah.
I said to the guy sitting next to me, he said, "Got all this on my shoulder and everywhere." was just all over me. And it's as if someone would come along and just tick the thing on me. And
Yeah.
I don't know if he did it or someone walking past
Yeah.
or what it was. But I said to him, look at all that. He goes, it's from the washing machine. I thought, well, I know that's bullshit. It's not from the washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the nanotechnology, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it like that smart dust or something?
Smart dust. That's it. Smart
Yeah.
dust.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah. You breathe it in and everything gets into
Of
you.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's like a microchip, really.
Yeah.
Because that gets into you through food or medication or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's more powerful. What I want to express to people listening in, who are into conspiracies, is they'll say, well, they can microchip you anytime. They can, and they probably do.
Yeah.
But it's when you agree to it, it's more powerful. Has a more powerful effect on your consciousness.
Yeah.
If you consciously agree to a microchip, and that's what I believe they're going to bring in.
Yeah.
It's like a magic spell. It's more powerful. If you're not even aware, if you even inhaled some kind of smart dust or technology or whatever it is, and you're not aware of it, right?
Yeah.
It's not powerful. It affects you some ways, maybe, but it won't have the same strength or power.
No. Because it's not entered, like you say, it's not entered the consciousness.
Not agreed to it.
Yeah.
But if you agree to it, that's when the problem starts.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of that, mate?
It's all interesting because it's like you say, the targeting individual stuff is just it's never ending for some people, like yourself. It's like an ongoing thing, hasn't it been, in your life? Which is what we've covered, tried to cover in the podcasts that you've done.
Another thing I still get vans following me. Not as much now, but I still get.
Right.
There's one van that I've noticed that does that. There's a couple actually, 2 or 3, and there's one particular one.
Yeah.
And I sort of gave him a funny look a few weeks ago, and then he was then I seen him about at least 3 times going up and down again. So once you acknowledge it, it's from saying once you acknowledge it, in many ways, it gives them more power.
Yeah.
So if you ignore it, you know it's there, but ignore it. It's less likely to go on as much, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believe I'm in the Illuminati Black Book. You can't get out of the Black Book.
Right.
Once you're in it, that's it.
Yeah.
The only way out of the Illuminati Black Book is if you die or if the Illuminati dies.
Right. Do you want to just explain that Illuminati Black Book just for people who are listening who might not have heard of it?
Well, I don't know if it's a thing as far as public consciousness or even in the world of the conspiracy research, but it's just something I believe is real. And when they decide to target someone, you go in the Black Book.
Yeah.
Part of the targeting is to be in a Black Book.
Right.
Now, lots of different reasons why you might be put in a Black Book, but I would say in general, at some point you would have pissed the Illuminati off.
Right.
Definitely. So I was part of the 9/11 truth movements.
Yeah.
So that's reason for that. They wouldn't put everyone in the 9/11 truth movements in the Black Book, but they would study you first and decide whether you'd make a good target to be in the book. And obviously, they decided I was. That's not the only reason why I'm in the Black Book. I think I was in the Black Book from birth, to be honest with you. Because I had certain things to do.
Yeah.
I had certain things to do in my life, which they didn't want me doing.
Yeah.
So you've gotten away with all that.
You had a lot of stuff go on quite early on, which we covered in the previous podcast, which is a whole lot of strange stuff, wasn't it? What you explained in that, in them podcasts, which I urge everybody to go back to and have a listen. If you're listening to this one for the first time, there's a previous 2, I think, with Stephen.
All I can say really is they do target me with mind control. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
They have mind control tactics and mind control technologies.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And I mean, the targeting's like, it's a lot of people that probably don't understand, that this is a real thing, what goes on,
It's
you
very
know.
real.
So it may be a shock for some people who are listening to this for the first time.
If it's a shock to people, that's a good sign
Yeah,
because they're taking on board some of the information.
yeah, yeah,
If they see it conspiracy theory,
yeah,
that's when it's a problem. When people think it's just a hobby. Oh,
yeah,
it's your
yeah,
hobbies.
yeah.
He's mad. He's mad, isn't he? But the final one I want to talk about, Mark, is Hillsborough because I was at Hillsborough and
Right,
I had no chance of getting a ticket. I had no chance of getting a ticket for that game.
right,
Suddenly, it could have been the Tuesday, but I'm more likely to think it was the Thursday, which is only 2 days or less than 2 days before the game.
yeah.
That week, anyway, my dad got given a ticket for me from someone in work.
All right, okay.
It was only a few days before the game.
Hmm.
I don't know how. Yeah, a few days. It was that week anyway. It was that Hillsborough week, the week leading up to Hillsborough. Hillsborough was on a Saturday.
Yeah,
I believe that person that gave my father the ticket for me, because I was going to the game, my dad wasn't,
yeah,
um, and deliberately gave that because for whatever reason he was told not to go.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I found it suspicious. He was given it. I ended up with the ticket.
yeah. Did that you was
I,
yeah.
I think they wanted to kill me, husband, mate.
Right, so that's quite a big compelling statement there. So just backtrack slightly, because we might have listeners from around the world. Can you just explain what Hillsborough is? I mean, I know, and probably a lot of people
Hillsborough
in
was a
England
stadium.
know.
Hillsborough was a stadium disaster that happened in 1989,
Yeah,
15th of April 1989. A football match between
yeah,
Liverpool FC and Nottingham Forest
yeah,
FC,
yeah,
and it was an FA Cup semi-final. It was played on a Saturday,
yeah,
and fans just briefly mention this because I'm hoping to do an interview with you in the future.
yeah,
The fans were basically funneled down a tunnel into central pens, and people got crushed to death.
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
in those central pens up until about 10 minutes before the crush. I climbed over to the side pen,
yeah.
just avoiding it.
Right, right. Did you have an inkling like you could like this
Well,
doesn't
we
feel
were there.
safe?
We were there for like, we got there about 1 o'clock-ish, maybe. And we were there for that would have been 2 hours
Yeah,
nearly in that central pen. And that tunnel should have been closed at 2 p.m.
right,
because
right.
there were other entrances,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We didn't know about them. You just see the tunnel.
yeah,
It was just a tunnel that led to the central pens, but there was no
right.
proper signage.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
why. But the police had the powers to close that tunnel, which led to the central pens.
got you.
We never did it. That's basically what happened.
Yes,
There
yes,
wasn't there wasn't extra fans with no tickets. Might be one or two is not going to
yeah,
make a difference. You're talking thousands, but there was basically is there was it's lack of duty and care at the very
yeah,
least. I think it was deliberately allowed.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was deliberately allowed, mate.
I
They
mean,
knew.
yeah, there was a lot of strangeness surrounding that, and just to go back there then. So, I mean, just to explain, following the disaster, they blamed the Liverpool fans, didn't they? And there was a lot of negative press that was geared up to sort of really, um, put out stories which wasn't true about Liverpool fans, wasn't it? About picking pockets, doing this,
Yeah,
and down the line, obviously, there's been a big movement. They wanted the truth out, and they wanted to clear their names, and just to say, it was 96 people died in that, wasn't there?
It's got up to 97 now.
You're 97, okay. So,
It was originally 96 for a long time.
yeah, yeah.
But 96 is an occult number, I think.
Yes, yes. I remember you mentioning that when we've had conversations in the past. But the truth sort of come out, didn't it? You know, it got overturned about the negative press and what the police were saying and everything going into Parliament and one thing and another. You
Well,
know,
it didn't really, only for what, it was one day. I remember that, it was one day. And all the local media, Merseyside, 5 Live, and I think it was Talk Sport,
yeah,
did a phone in where people could talk about their experiences.
yeah,
And that was one day. And I don't think it was archived. It's all been lost. Because since then, a lot of other football fans have become very bitter and
yeah,
still blame us.
yeah, yeah,
They still blame us. And that's how I see. I see
yeah,
it. And
yeah,
the worst thing about it is the policeman in charge got off.
yes, yes,
Got
yeah,
off with it. He wasn't in charge of
yeah,
anything. There's one person charged, and that was the health and safety of Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday is the ground of Hillsborough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Just to ask you, have you ever seen that film called The Hillsborough? The guy who made 7/7 Ripple Effect.
Yeah, I've
He
seen
made a
that.
film called about
Yeah,
Hillsborough, didn't he?
yeah. But we could talk about all this next time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
I've
is
got to make a big.
interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting. I remember that day very, very clearly. I remember where I was and everything at
yeah.
my auntie's house, helping her doing some decorating in 1989, April, on the Saturday. Remember it very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad day.
It is a sad day, really, and just I hope there's a lot of healing that's come now for the families and stuff. I hope.
Well, thanks for coming on, Stephen. I really appreciate that. And you've covered such a lot there. And there's a lot of strange things and, circumstances coming together with all that. And, I wish you well in the future. And if ever you want to come on again and talk about anything else, you're more than welcome to come on the Enlightened Times podcast.
Okay, thanks, Mark.
Okay, Steve, we'll speak again soon.
Okay, bye.
All the best. Bye.
Bye.